the 14 ghosts or the 14 siphons. These are frequencies or patterns within reality that are essentially designed to suck away your energy as an individual, as a sovereign individual. Now, you might notice in your life, especially in some of the societies we live in, that your energy is constantly drained. These are the 14 ghosts. Now, I'll go through each ghost with you one by one. I want to point one thing out, though. This is not AI slop. AI slop is devoid of human experience. I use AI to create images, to test my ideas. But in terms of the origination of the ideas, they come from lived experience, from the body of knowledge of man, and from my own lived experience as a philosopher, as a thinker. And that is the best type of a way to use AI to augment the thought process, not to ask the AI to write something or create something, because it will be hollow. It will be shit. So this is not AI slop. This is AI enhanced in the sense of creating images and testing ideas, but the essence of it is very human. It comes from long-standing human tradition and a creator, a human author who has conceptualized and come up with the ideas. Okay, so here we go. These are the 14 ghosts, and we'll begin with the king of all ghosts in Western society and basically all societies now, which is the distractor. The distractor is the craving for endless dopamine loops. It is the endless distractions that we build around ourselves, the entertainment, the technology, the media, everything that we spend so long and so much of our time investing in. And all of it essentially means nothing. It is milling to its ultimate degree. And in terms of the distractor ghost, it could be in any form. A ghost is simply just an empty frequency that sucks you in like an entropy hole or a sinkhole. And there is no shortage of these distractors in our society. Now, this could be in the form of a friend inviting you to a party. It could be simply you picking up your phone and doom scrolling. It could be consuming pornography. It could be anything. Or gaming all night long, anything. These are distractions. They don't have utility in the real world. They don't improve your life. And the sovereign architect's response to the distractor is the laser, a singular focus on a task in your life or an element of your life that you put time into, quality time, and actually achieve a real result, a strike in the real world. The laser is the antithesis to the distractor, and the distractor ghost is everywhere in our society. It is essentially ruining the fabric of society. Next up, we have the complacent ghost. The complacent ghost is the message to you that everything is fine. There's no need to worry. We're all going to be okay, or the world is okay. Everything's going to be fine, and just sit tight and wait for everything to be fine. But at the end of the day, the complacent ghost is also sucking your energy. So the antithesis to the complacent ghost is the exile. It is when you are able to remove yourself from a situation that is draining your energy. In the field of reality that we live in, there are many traps and entropic sinkholes that people fall into that we should really remove ourselves from. We need to extract our essence from places that are draining our energy, and the complacent ghost will tell you to stay there. They'll say it's fine, make you feel comfortable. Comfort is the enemy in regards to the complacent ghost. Next up, we have the commiserator, shared misery. The commiserator wants to live in the story. They want you to share in their misery with them. They want you to share things about your misery, and they want to spend their lives complaining and whining about their problems instead of facing them head on and trying to be strategic and actively trying to work on their problems, and framing everything as mishaps. oh, I can't believe I just lost my ex when this day has already been so bad. And that's the commiserator. The the antithesis, the architect's answer to the commiserator is the stoic, indifferent silence, only acting on what you can control and not worrying about what's around you, seeing people's behavior and other things around you as simply weather patterns. Okay, that's the architect's response to the commiserator ghost. Next up, we have the rule follower. And the rule follower is also the well-behaved ghost. It's the ghost that tells you that the handbook has said X, so therefore you must follow the handbook. Even when the entirety of the system is crumbling around you, the rule follower is clinging to the handbook and the policy and following the rules when the rules themselves were created through corruption. The society that created the rules is crumbling. The governors who installed the rules are fleeing and abusing their authority, but the rule follower is clinging to the handbook, to the policy. They're never willing to step outside of that frame. And the danger of the rule follower is that they will draw you in by making you feel as if you have performed some kind of immoral act without any logic behind their claim. It's just the rules themselves are in control. So they haven't actually qualified as to why you bypassing the rules to escape corruption is necessarily bad through any logic, just that it was written in the handbook and therefore you cannot do it. We all know these people, but we all actually are these people sometimes as well, because we can channel these ghosts into ourselves. And the well-behaved ghost is the ghost that is entrained into following society's rules at any cost, and essentially looking at other people who do not do that as bad people. Okay, so the architect's response to the rule follower is essentially the sovereign, and the sovereign is the one who strikes into reality that which is beneficial to them and their family and to their society, regardless of what the handbook says. The sovereign is the one who's able to look at the rules and, if needed, bypass them, because they don't need to perform well-behaved ghost behavior. They simply need to be effective in what they're doing and their purpose and their mission. That's the sovereign. Now we move to the skeptic. The skeptic ghost is the ghost that wants you to create doubt in an individual, and wants you to remain weary of future problems and of future things, and to remain in the fog, essentially, and essentially question everything you do. The antithesis to the skeptic is the seer. The seer is not concerned with doubt and skepticism. The seer is concerned with slowing perception so that they can actually see what's happening and believing in their own vision. Anyone can be a seer. We all have this power within us. It's just when you remove the doubt, you can access higher order thinking, and you can see the reality for what it really is on any kind of level you want. But you don't have to go to the deepest layer of reality, but you can see the grid of reality for what it really is, which is essentially an information field. And things that happen within that informational field are essentially weather patterns. Everything else is an added story. So that's the seer versus the skeptic. The next one up is a particularly harmful one, is the gossip. The gossip is that desire to speak about other people's business, watch the optics of others and comment on it, or just spend your life talking about things that have nothing to do with you, or speaking about other people and yourself in some instances as well. But the opposite and the antithesis to the gossip is the ghost walker, total invisibility. This is a powerful state, not gossiping, not performing. It's non-performative. It counters the well-behaved ghost as well. And you have to understand one thing, that fame and infamy are actually curses in this world. They are not natural. They're curses. They create giant vortexes. They create vacuums where people are doing whatever they want. They have godlike abilities to everybody to say yes to them. And then they become perverse, as we've seen in all instances, unless they have very well-developed internal structure and internal coherence. If you make a person famous, you take away the no in their life and let them have whatever they want. They become corrupted, they become perverse, they become entropic, and it usually ends in chaos. So being invisible is actually a very good thing, and being infamous or famous is a curse to humanity. So, well, the next ghost is the victim. We all know what this ghost is. It's anytime you indulge in complaining about your problems, or just believing that you are a victim of anything, the government, your partner, the man on the bus, whatever it is. The minute that you believe that you're a victim, you've given all your energy to this ghost, and you've siphoned away your power. The antithesis to the victim is the sculptor. This is the ability to understand that you co-create reality with the universe itself. You are a sovereign architect of reality, and you are a sculptor, and you can change reality as and when you wish. And as long as you don't siphon away all your energy to the victim ghost and believe that you're a victim, you will become a sculptor. Next up, we have the stagnant. I've put wallet chain here because I was inspired by a man I saw dressed in 90s attire or early 2000s attire with the wallet chain. And I thought to myself, I wonder if that guy, I understand he's recreating a look, but I wonder if, because he was my age, I wonder if he's ever emotionally developed since the day that he decided to keep wearing the same style of clothes for 30 years. And I don't know the answer to that question. I don't want to judge that guy. He was just an inspiration. Sometimes, us creators, we are inspired by people we see, and we create characters. But the stagnant is anchored to the past. There's a certain. You go to Camden High Street where I live, and you see punk rockers everywhere, and it's like you see them, and you think to yourself, well, these guys are wearing a costume that was once a symbol of rebellion in the 70s, but is now fully incorporated, and you can purchase on the same high street that they're walking down into the system, and it's no longer viewed as a form of rebellion. So they're anchored to the past. The past is simply, I would call it a data packet, or it's not an actual tangible thing. So being anchored to the past is usually a ghost siphoning your energy. The Voyager is the antithesis to the stagnant. It is the ability to continually update your system without regard for past anchorage. It is the ability to, it's essentially the ability to move with the times and to create a new reality for yourself based on what's happening now, in the moment, in the present. So the Voyager is the antithesis to the stagnant ghost, which sucks so much energy from people. Next up, we have the competitor ghost. This is constantly comparing your achievements and your output to others, and making everything into a game where you're trying to beat someone else. It's obviously a ghost because it sucks your energy away and gives you nothing. You don't win anything from the competitor ghost. What the antithesis to the competitor ghost is the soloist, who is personally harvesting for themselves and their family, or whoever it is, their society, but they are focusing on their own individual actions, the structural reality of their life, and the energy that they put into the world. That's what they're focused on, not on trying to turn everything into a game of one-upmanship. Next up, we have the approval seeker. Now, this obviously also ties into other ghosts a lot, but the approval seeker is desperate for praise. This is the attention economy that we've built in the world today, where people perform just to get the approval, the likes, the subscriptions, whatever it is. They approve to get uh, their entire output of their lives is designed around approval. This is a strong ghost, and it has sucked entire communities and societies in, as you can see around you. The antithesis to the approval seeker is the judge. It's intense discernment. It's your own internal discernment system that you use to cut through and make the decision as to what is a good and or not good action in your life. So the judge is there to be the antithesis to the approval seeker. Next up, we have the traditionalist. The traditionalist will always try to suck you into a pattern that has already been established, even when that pattern has shown that is no longer effective and has zero utility. The traditionalist ghost will try to suck your energy back into that old familiar pattern. The antithesis to the traditionalist is the disruptor. So this is ruthless utility and the ability to cut through tradition when it doesn't serve us anymore. That's not to say tradition is a bad thing. It's just that when there's time, that the disruptor is always needed when the traditionalist is sucking too much of the energy of the individual. Next up, we have the anchor. The anchor wants to essentially remind you of your past failures. It wants to draw you into believing that you are never able to surpass the thought process or where you are in your life at this moment. So the anchor is essentially your past failures that you're wearing like a ball and chain. The aeronaut is the zero gravity future. So this is where you release the anchor. It's a massive energy drain. And you essentially allow yourself to be free. Now, the final ghost, is perhaps the most insidious of the list, because it is the mirror. The mirror is a mimicry. It is a decoy. It is essentially an entity or a pattern that makes you believe that they are like you. They share your internal process. They're mimicking you to draw you in. And the way that your energy sucks is that you're investing energy into this entity or this process that mimics your inner self. But in reality, it's a hollow version. It's not really anything to do with you. It's a trick. And you invest your energy, and then at the end of it, you realize it had no structure. Now, this could be a job role that made you believe that it was in line with what you're trying to do in the world, and you came into the job and realized it was an illusion, but you've invested a lot of energy. Or it could just be someone in your life, a relationship, somebody who recognizes your energy and attempts to act to you and acts towards you as if they have the same structure and integrity and energy as you. However, after you invest a certain amount of energy into this person, you realize that they were mimicking, but they had none of the internal structure or the desire to actually do what you do and be in the world as you are in the world. So this is quite a sophisticated ghost. So those are the 14 ghosts, and those are the architect's responses to no longer be siphoned by these ghosts. Hope you enjoyed.